Hey everyone, and welcome to the end of the season playoff round one preview league managers note. As always, I'm the commish, aka Mr. Modest, aka 15 and 1, aka Buzzsaw. Get out of here, Hobart. Joined by Joel Gibson. How are we doing, Joel?
I'm doing fucking fantastic, man. The regular season is over. I have notched another 10-win season. Put double digits in the book. I'm a freight train. I'm fucking coming with a double-digit win, just like my double-digit season. I can't wait to tear some ass up.
I am so excited for these playoffs. Tonight was just a perfect example of how this season has gone. Matt almost comes back to beat me and would move out of the 8th spot. He comes up just a couple rebounds short. Murray short of the TD last night. And you've got Doug, who completely changes the foundation of the 3 through 6 seeds by getting a block from Dame Lillard at the end of the game with 5 minutes to go in the fourth. Dame gets the block. Doug wins. Incredible end. We'll go through the matchups real quick. We'll get into the playoffs. I'm just really excited. Don't know if you noticed.
I'm so fucking pumped.
First matchup, like we were alluding to there, Hobert loses to Modest in what we can only believe is a preview of round one. Hobert put up a good fight this week. I was debating with myself a little bit on who to sit today. I was very nervous about those free throws. And rightly so. It was nice to see my guys making free throws. But just like when I sat Gobert earlier this season to win a matchup, I stand by my decisions. I have a mostly healthy roster going into next week. I'm not sitting anybody random. Me, 15 and 1. Hobert, 7 and 9.
Wow, that's impressive. It was close. There were several categories that were within reach, but I feel like you were close in a lot of these cats. I suspect that the false champ is not going to enjoy the following weeks.
I hope you're right, sir. I hope you're right indeed. Next matchup is Cody losing to Steven, 6-4-1. Cody is basically landslide this entire second half. You talked about a strong second half for you. Cody went in the opposite direction. I think that he's biggest letdown here. I made that point to you, and I'll make that point right on here. The 2 seed after week 10, I think, and then ends at the 6. So in 6 weeks, he ends up falling 4 spots. That's rough.
It was a blistering start to the season, but it turned out just to be a cold sore. He's really struggling here to finish out the season.
Yeah, and Luka's already out for Monday. So,
oh boy.
Not a good start. Not a good start. Steven, he got hurt there with the trade deadline passing. A couple of his players got hurt. So I think that his team has went down a little bit, but you cannot question the team that has Harden and Trae Young on the same team. They can get most categories done by themselves. That being said, Steven wins this week, finishes 11-5, the second best record in the league this year. Shout out to Steven. Congratulations for that. Cody finishes 8-8. The next matchup is Doug beating CJ. Doug moves to 9-7. Like I said, Dame has been absolutely incredible. Morant gets that TD, validating his trade on Holiday no matter what you say. CJ, that's a rough one to take. He finishes 10-6. And those 3 matchups that we just went through, all 3 matchups you're going to find we'll be talking about here very soon.
Man. Yeah, this is a tough one. We talked about it a little bit earlier with Dame just going in there and saving it for Doug, getting that final block. Dame has just been unbelievable. Like, maybe the best player in fantasy basketball the last few weeks.
I agree, especially with Harden being injured 2 weeks ago. So I think that you could say it. I might even go the last 3 weeks. Dame's been incredible. Just absolutely lights out. Worth every dollar for $50.
I'd wager that CJ is really fucking tired of Damian Lillard.
He has got to be. And I've got some bad news for him. He's only got to play him for 3 more weeks. No problem. No problem.
No problem at all.
Next matchup is Neiman losing to Joel. Like we talked about, Joel gets to double digits, winning 8 consecutive games. Absolutely on fire entering the playoffs. Yeah, shout out to you. That's just impressive. I don't know what else to say. Underdog for sure.
Underdog of the year for sure. We just ripped Neiman's poor heart out. 10-1. Jesus fucking Christ. We'll never win turnovers, but we're never worried about it. We are coming into the playoffs ready to make a statement. It's been too long since that sweet trophy's been in my hands. I'm bringing her back, baby.
Next matchup is Simmons beating Kyle. Nothing to say here. We expected this. Simmons 8-8 on the season. He was also 2-6, tied with you. So not as great, but he did finish the year at 6-2. So a pretty good streak there at the end. He's also the only player to beat me this year. So shout out to Simmons. Our rivalry rages on. Yeah. Pretty bummed about it. Also pretty bummed I didn't get him first round. I was ready to tear his heart out too. Next matchup is Eric at Adam. Adam won. Just in case Simmons somehow lost to Kyle, it would have been interesting. But Simmons ended up outscoring Adam anyway. Adam 7-9. Didn't get to 500. First out of the playoffs. Show up to the draft next year, big fella.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm the most hurt that Eric's team has come to this screeching halt after being so hot lately. I was really hoping to see him just finish out the year on a winning streak, but much like his season, it was all for naught. It was a big disappointment, a big fart.
Absolutely. He said in the messenger when he was still in the playoff hunt there, he's like, I feel like the Miami Dolphins. You were, in fact, the Miami Dolphins, my friend. You got everyone's hopes up, and then you thrashed them right at the end. I love it. Congratulations, Eric. See you next year. Well, we'll get right into playoffs round 1. We will go to the consolation bracket first because no one gives a shit. I'm naming it Snoozeville 2020. So congratulations to all 4 of these teams for taking a trip to Snoozeville. First matchup, Eric, the number 10 team, at Adam. I don't care. I don't care. I would be shocked if Eric sets his lineups, to be honest with you. Maybe Adam tries to sneak a little, not playing anybody in, but I don't care. I'll take Adam. Whatever.
I'll take Adam, too. Shame, Eric. Shame.
Shame. I forget what I was watching with Sam, and I'm sorry for the tangent, but I heard the term shame, and I just started chanting, shame, shame, shame. And then I look over at her, and then I realize that she never watched Game of Thrones, so she has no idea what I'm doing.
So she just thinks that her husband's lost his fucking mind.
Exactly. So that was nice tonight, just letting everybody in. Next matchup is Kyle at Neiman.
Oh, man.
This is a barn burner for sure.
I'm biting my nails.
I think that Kyle is not stupid enough to play anybody, so Neiman's going to win this matchup.
Neiman's going to go after it full force.
He is going to cut loose LeBron and Anthony Davis all over Kyle's ass.
He is fresh off a double-digit loss. He's coming in for the double-digit win. You heard it here first.
And he just might get it. My goodness. All right, well, let's get into these matchups. Some of them will be familiar to you people. First one is the 8 versus 1 seed. The false champ is taking on the next champ, the People's Champ 2020. Matt Hobert, I am going to take you over the next 3 weeks on a lovely journey through Cyclesville, USA. Let me tell you about it. I've been saving money all year just for this. I dropped my injured baggage, I've got plenty of open spots, and I've got plenty of money. What's that mean? That means trouble for Matt Hobert. Taking Modest round 1. Here we go.
The only question I have is how many spots will you cycle? Will you cycle 1? Will you cycle 2? Will you cycle 3? Matt, you gotta spend all your dollars. Really go after it. Put a dent in Brandon's wallet. You can't win this, but you can hurt him.
Hopefully DeRozan doesn't get kicked out for Matt. Or hopefully Pop doesn't pull players at the end just short of triple doubles. I love Greg Popovich. He is my best friend, and I am confident. I am just rolling with confidence. Who are you going to pick? Joel, you picked me, right?
I'm picking the 1 seed.
Excellent. I love it. Next matchup, we'll get into yours, Joel Gibson. The 7 at 2. We talked about the 2 hot streaks coming into this. Simmons 6-2 in his last 8. Joel 8-0. I am pumped for this matchup. Simmons versus Joel, a tale old as time. I am excited. I want both of you.
This is gonna be a fucking bloodbath. Simmons and I have a long history. His team is solid. I've been claiming this all season. I've been saying he is the team in the playoffs that you do not want to see. And lo and behold, the day of reckoning is here. I have to fucking face this guy with Zion healthy, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander playing out of his mind. Last time this guy went out there and had a 20-rebound triple-double on me.
I'm going to take Joel, but Joel by this hair on his chinny chin chin. I mean that thin stuff, that very thin stuff. Simmons is going to make you spend money, and I'm interested to see how many cycle spots you have, sir. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? I can count 4 on that bench. Here we go.
There might just be 4. It might get fucking wild, and there might be 5. Don't forget there's an IR spot. Just ready.
Yeah, for Kyrie. It's ready. It's ready for Kyrie.
Before the All-Star game because he wants to be in the game. You heard it here. Everything's fine. No reason to panic.
Moving on, we've got Cody and Steven. Deja vu number 2 here. Cody is without Luka, at least on Monday. Steven still has the team to get it done. He's proved it. The matchup this week was extremely close. Field goal percentage within distance. Steals are always up in the air. Blocks are up in the air. Turnovers are super close. DDs are super close. Both had a triple-double. Points are a little more Steven. But I'm going to take Steven here. I think Steven's the hot hand, if you will. Cody without Luka is not nearly as formidable. And I think over the 3-week span without Luka, Harden and Young are going to dominate Cody's lineup. That's just my thought. Over 3 weeks, having those 2 players is huge. So I'm going Steven here.
I too am going to go Steven. But like you said, it's very close. It's going to take a committed Steven to the wire, I believe. I see several spots that I think Cody could rotate out in the coming weeks.
Yep.
But we will see. It's going to be close. I'm picking Steven, but I don't feel confident.
It will be interesting, and if Cody can pull this off, it'll It'll definitely open some eyes, especially with Luka down. Cody's depth is still there, though. Steven, like I said, there are some question marks, but I'm sticking with my West guy, sticking with the hot hand. In the last matchup, maybe one that has a little more spite to it, a little more spunk. Somebody might hold a grudge for losing by, I don't know, 1 block in the last 5 minutes. I don't know about this, but we've got the number 5, Doug, at the number 4, CJ Ross. CJ, I believe this is the highest seed that he's been in a while, the 4 spot.
Man, top 4.
Yeah.
First and finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. CJ has been playing better over these last couple years. We have to admit it. He was also a contender last year. And so he's definitely up there. He's no longer the Blake Griffin trade of like 2016, if you remember that one. He's not that guy anymore. And I think both of them have money. And both of them genuinely might not, I don't know, they might not like each other a little bit these next few weeks. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited for it.
I am very excited. CJ and I are going to see the Cavs-Hawks game.
Yep.
So we're going to watch Drummond he's going to get a lot of rebounds. There's a lot of missed shots to have that game. So that's going to be pretty fun to watch. But I think I'm going to pick CJ, but I don't feel great about it. The only reason I'm picking CJ is because it was so close that I'm not confident that Doug's going to win 2 times in a row.
I can see what you're going with there. There's no guarantee a triple-double comes from Doug. There's no guarantee that Dame stays fucking like a laser show out there. He might just, tone it down to a strobe light instead of a laser show. You know what I mean?
It's possible.
You've also got the worry with CJ of Westbrook sitting those back-to-backs. Dre sitting out here towards the end.
Lowry is out.
Yeah, Lowry is also out with whiplash, running into Serge. That's a big motherfucker out there. I tell you who really likes Lowry being out. That's Freddie. Freddie loves it. He is out there just eating it up. He loves it. I'm going to actually take Doug here. The reason why I'm taking Doug is because if these 4 teams that I've picked, myself, you, Steven, and Doug, make it to the Final 4, I will have perfectly predicted week 1, the Final 4 teams. So I'm going with my gut, and I'm going with my picks at the beginning of the season.
Man, I'm having some doubts now. Looking at, it's going to depend on how willing to drop guys CJ is. It's playoff time. Can you afford to hold on to Will Barton if he's out? It's tough. Looking at Doug's team real quick.
It's not bad. Doug has accumulated some pretty good bottom guys. I'll give it to him.
I actually think I am going to change my pick to Doug.
Yep. And that will be a heartbreaker to CJ's season again, I believe, in the first round. Did he go out first round last year, too? I think so. CJ, let me know if I'm wrong on that, and if I am, I'm sorry. But I think that'll also be a first-round exit if that happens. Now, these are going to be the matchups no matter what ESPN says. I went through, and it was based on overall record, head-to-head record if you were tied. So the only teams that these really affects is Simmons and Cody. Simmons and Cody, 1-1 against each other. Cody had a better conference record. That's why Cody's the higher seed than Simmons. They shouldn't be any different on ESPN, but I've been saying the tiebreakers the entire season. If it's necessary, I will edit the playoffs to reflect our settings, keeping that in mind. Outside of that, everybody's got a lot of money. It's all about how much you want to spend this first round. Extremely interesting matchups. You got to feel, at least 3 of the matchups are the exact same. So you got a feel of what you were going up against. a reminder, I'm going to post everyone's ballot for tomorrow. Next weekend is right over the All-Star weekend, so I'd like to do awards over that following weekend. We might do a short update video the following weekend, but there is still some time before the end of this matchup. We're in the lull here with this All-Star break. So everybody keep that in mind. This first round goes from February 10th the whole way to March 1st. I believe you have 17, maybe 18 acquisitions. I can't remember. It's either 17 or 18 for this first round. Outside of that, you can look on ESPN. It'll tell you how many acquisitions. It's forever how many game days are in this period. I can't remember if it's like 5 games off and you only have 17, or if it's 4 days off and you only have 18. So I apologize, or you have 18. I apologize for not knowing exactly, but it's an ad. Look at it. I'll put it in the messenger if you want.
We're ready for the ass kicking to commence.
We're ready for the ass kicking to commence. Outside of that, great season to everybody. Truly one of my favorite years for sure. No matter how this goes for me in the playoffs, but it'd sure be great if I could pull this off.
Man, it'd sure be great if you didn't.
I will be severely depressed for the next 2 years again while I'm ramping back up for another run.
That would be an impressive win for whoever it would be if it happened to be me that took you down.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I've got this giant wood problem over at Camp Modest. If somebody could help me out with this fella, he is just out of control. He is out of control out here.
Listen, whatever you got in your pants, we don't need to know about, but you keep it over there, big fella.
All right. If anybody has any questions, I guess we got to bring this season to a close.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All
Good
right.
luck in the playoffs. And to everyone who didn't make the playoffs, better luck next time.
Better luck next year, everyone that didn't make the playoffs. If you're in the playoffs, don't be afraid to throw a little smack talk in the messenger. Let's get these rivalries going. I love it. Let's do it. Come on, Hobert. False champ. Here comes the buzzsaw. Later.
Deuces.